What is going on, everyone, and welcome to another update for ESO. So as you guys may imagine, update 12, 1 Tamriel is coming out soon. I would assume October, but I wanted to go over a lot of the patch notes with you guys that have been released today, and just go over like what I think is important to me. But if you want to read the entire thing, which is like, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 pages worth of notes, I'll leave a link in the description if you don't want to hear me talk about it and stuff. So with that said, everything that's important to me as a player who's been playing since day one is, let's start off with 1 Tamriel. This isn't exactly new news, but just to go over like a brief bit of it. There's no alliance order once the expansion comes out. So you know how right now you either pick Ebonheart, Daggerfall, or Dominion. Now technically you still have to do that in the beginning, but you don't have to do the story quest order. You can just do whatever you want. It's kind of like a free roam instead of alliance-based ones, which is unique. Not really a huge fan of that, but it's happening. So with that, it's going to be level scaled. So before, let's say the first 50 levels would be your first alliance, and then from or veteran 1 or champion point, like 10 to whatever, is the next one. Then the last faction is your last few levels. Now it doesn't matter; it scales wherever you go. So just do whatever you want, I guess. So that's pretty much the big thing that's happening for 1 Tamriel. Some more updates is in Craglorn. That is usually the end game area where people go to do group events and trials. Now they're kind of rebalancing and rescaling the entire area, so it's more solo viable, I guess. Before you used to have to go into groups of 4 or something, 4 or plus, to do things, just getting quests done, farming sky shards and whatnot. So they're making this easier, which I guess is a good thing for all you solo players. So that's one thing. Now here's a big part, the dungeons. This is definitely endgame stuff, because once you finish the story, you're either going to PvP, or if you don't like PvP, you're going to be doing dungeons and trials. So, as it stands right now, you have a silver key and a gold key option, which is like a veteran dungeon and a non-vet, essentially. Okay, so now with the update, they're removing silver and gold or bronze keys, and they're all turning into an undaunted key. So essentially, it doesn't matter what you do, you get a key at the end, and it's the same thing. So with that said, in the chest, you are guaranteed a shoulder piece every single time. And that's one of the 2 pieces you need, like shoulder and helm for the 2-piece set. And now you get it guaranteed. You still have to get lucky with traits and stuff, but you're guaranteed one now, which is kind of interesting. It helps out the newer players, and you just get one. So another big thing is, instead of 2 dungeons daily, right now it's 2, and then you can do as many randoms as you want and just get a slight amount of XP. There's going to be 3 of them, because there's going to be like dungeon 1 and 2. For example, let's just say, I don't know, just pick any dungeon, and there's going to be version 1 and then 2. So you do those 2, 1 and 2, and then another dungeon 1 and 2, and another dungeon 1 and 2. So that's a total of 6 keys per day. And I don't really know, that takes quite a while to do. If you're in a guild, you just knock it out in like maybe an hour and a half or so. So you can get 6 keys a day, so that's a guaranteed of 6 shoulders. There are obviously going to be new helms and new tops, all the stuff like cosmetics. There's always going to be cosmetics, but when you do the veteran dungeon, essentially the hard difficulty, you are guaranteed a helm. And if you do it on normal, only in certain ones you'll have a chance to get a helm if you're not doing it on normal or veteran. So essentially, they're giving you more rewards daily if you didn't get that. So instead of 2 dungeons, you get 6. And guaranteed helm. If you do them all on the hardest difficulty, you get like 6 helms, 6 shoulders a day. So I guess that progresses or speeds up progression towards the end game once you're there. So I'm not really too convinced that's a good idea, because you want people to keep playing every day. Now I understand there's like a million new helms and like armor pieces they're coming out with, but if you're giving people like guaranteed stuff every time, then I feel like people are just going to run out of things. Now granted, you're still going to be playing it even if you have everything, because you probably think it's fun, which is completely understandable, but once you have everything, you have everything. There's nothing else. So there's going to be new helms, more dungeons daily, guaranteed drops, same thing as we do now, just times 3. And yeah, so next on our list are set items from trials and dungeons are now going to be bind on pickup. Or like right now it is like some of them are tradable, most of them are bind on pickup, but we have the new trade system in place where if you're in the group, you could trade it to someone for like 2 hours. Now I believe that is still going to stay, but like you can't sell it or anything because some items are sellable. So you can't do that. I assume the trade option is the only thing available to your group. So if you have stuff that are like bind on equip now, you should either get rid of it or do something with it. Because in about 2 months or whenever the expansion comes out, if you're still not using it, they're going to be bound to your account. So either sell it right now or use it. All right, so next is some interesting news. Some of it is big news, and some of it is just some of you guys may not even care about it. So there's going to be 110 new achievements for all of you achievement hunters out there. It's actually kind of hard to get all the achievements in the game. You literally have to sink in hours and hours and hours. And by that, I mean like a couple years. So that's always interesting for everyone who's collected it. I actually don't even know anyone who has 100%ed all the achievements in the game. I'm sure there are people are, but I just don't know any. A big thing they're going to be adding is dueling. Essentially, if you play any other MMO, it's kind of like Battlegrounds, Arenas, just type / duel, player name, you're in, and then you fight until the other person dies, essentially. So you could do it outside of PvP zones. It's not really new. Other MMOs have it. You've seen it. That's essentially what it is. Now, here's a big one that they're going to have to balance very heavily. New weapons or your ultimates in their skill lines. Once you get to 50, they have a new ability which are very strong. So take your current ultimate now and then amplify that by a lot. So the weapon ults are going to be different and new. If you want to see some screenshots, they're probably somewhere, I don't know, but you could check out the official patch notes thingy if you want to see some. I have, and it's like, for example, one of the bows was like you rain down arrows dealing 40,000 damage over like 10 seconds or something, 4 seconds maybe. But they're very strong, so they're going to have to do some very heavy balancing for that just to make sure it's good. And so what's next? Champion points, the current cap is 531 if you're like playing it before the patch. If you're watching this video like 2 years later, obviously the cap is probably going to be like 700 or something. But the champion point cap is going to be 561. It's going up by 30, and that's always interesting. Okay, so more interesting news for people who like to play on different servers. Instead of having to do it on the client, if you were playing this on PC, now you could just do it at the login screen. So that's cool. I might actually make an account on the European servers now because apparently they get their patches done first before North America. I don't know why, but they start at the same time and Europe gets it done first. Makes no sense to me, but that's what's going to happen. So I might actually make a European account and play with you guys. So more balances and changes. Obviously, every dungeon, some of the mechanics are going to change. I'm not going to list them all because that's way too many. If you're like looking for something specific, you're going to have to read the official ones. Links in the description. They're going to be changing the PvP rewards. Obviously, PvE, we already talked about it. Those are going to be changed. And then for you guys who only do PvP, the rewards are going to be different as well. So that has been pretty much everything that caught my attention. We'll go over a little bit more when we actually hear more news, but there's quite a bit of stuff you should actually take a look at. What I covered is not all of it, but it's everything that I thought was important as like an end game player. So if you're thinking about getting this game or starting it from scratch whenever, if you're thinking about getting it now or just waiting till like the new expansion comes out, patch, whatever, to be quite honest, I would just start now just to get a feel for the game. And you should probably start doing the dungeons before the new thing hits, so you just have a general idea. It doesn't matter whether you start now or later. I assume everything is going to change, but if you just want to like get your character maxed out before then, that would probably be a good idea. So yeah, with that said, that's everything that's interesting to me. When they release more notes, I'll definitely be covering it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a quick like on the video and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. I am actually curious. I will be reading comments on this video. So yeah, have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys next time.